Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel, and hello if you're new here. My name is Ngozi and welcome to Discover Ngozi, where I post reviews, vlogs, sit down videos and a bit of everything. So I was thinking what to film. The brightness thing is on my face and it's really pissing me off. Like, can you just go away please? Okay, there we go. I was thinking what to film for my channel, and I thought, you know, since it's like the end of the year, I might as well talk about my top lessons that I've learned in 2021, because I definitely feel like I've learned a lot. The first thing I feel like I learned, and I know this sounds really cliche, but I'd say it's how precious time is. I mean, I've always known time is precious, but this year especially, just with a lot of things that happened, you know, in my life, in the world in general, it just made me feel like there's really no time to waste time. Like, there is really no time to waste time, and someone could literally be here today, gone tomorrow, and that's just the reality of life. And it made me realize, like, just to go all out in what I wanted to do and what I loved doing. So this year I should have completed my master's, but unfortunately I had to redo some parts of my dissertation, so until January I wouldn't be able to like graduate and stuff. And at first I was like, oh damn, like, you know, this is shit. I felt like a bit of a failure, but then I realized, like, it kind of made me realize that sometimes even if things don't go as planned, it doesn't mean it's the end of the world. And whilst you still have time, you still have so much room for growth. So when I finished uni, before I was waiting for my grades to come out, I was working. Guys, this work is a whole different topic, but the thing is, I've always been someone that literally, for as long as I remember, I've known that I don't want to do a 9 to 5 of any kind. I just don't enjoy working for other people. And I got to a really low point where I was starting to think, like, when I quit my job, I was happy, but it was also a really dark time, because I was thinking, like, why is my mind like this? Like, because I'm someone that I don't care if I'm getting paid 50k a month. If I hate that job, there's nothing you can do to make me stay. I just can't do it. And I was like, what, I know what I want to do, but it hasn't worked out yet for me the way I want it to. So it just made me feel a type of way. I don't know, guys. I just feel like one thing I learned as well is that sometimes what you're doing or how you're living, to other people it might look stupid, but it doesn't matter, because if you have a clear vision in your head, that's all that matters. Because I feel like now it's like, okay, what's the plan here? You know, you quit your job, now what? But I have a plan, you know, and every day I'm living towards executing that plan, and by God's grace it will work out for me. So back to the things I learned is, number one, time is precious, and number two, you have to do you. Even if no one else believes in what you're doing, you believing in it is enough. And I know it sounds really cliche, but you'll see. Another thing I realized is that patience is not so bad after all. I'd say one of my bad traits is that I'm quite impatient. A lot of people that know me might not realize that I'm impatient, but my impatientness is with myself. I'm not very patient with myself, and it can be a good and bad thing. It can be a good thing because, you know, you don't ever stop at something. You keep trying, keep striving and keep striving. But it can be a bad thing because it's like, sometimes it's just not your time, and it doesn't mean that you're failing. And I have to become more patient in like letting my time come. And so patience is one thing I learned, and it's so important to have patience, most especially with yourself, because I'm patient with other people to an extent, but with myself, nobody knows the amount of pressure I put on myself. Like, only I really know. And I've realized this year that, you know what, I need to start believing myself a bit more and start being patient with myself. So that's another self-reflection that I've realized. This is kind of like a painful kind of lesson. People only really want to associate with you when you're winning. You know what I find so funny? You know, when people do those like TED Talks, and they talk about how, like, they started with just a packet of Indomie and now they have like Michelin star restaurants, and everyone was like, oh my god. The maddest thing is that before they got there, I bet you people just didn't want to be around them, like people who didn't know them. And that's the thing, before you blow or before you win in life, people don't want to associate with you. And it's crazy because it's like, when you then make it, everyone wants to be like, that's my girl, you know? Or like, you know, like, I've been there since day one, but day one you were not interacting. And for me, I realized this because of just watching other people. Like, I'm not going where I want to get to in life, but I know that when I do, this lesson I would already know it, so I wouldn't be surprised if people's intention or gestures change. Because when you're winning, that's when people really want to be associated with you. And I just think it makes sense, to be honest, but it's kind of hard, like a hard pill to swallow. Sometimes violence is good. When I say violence, I don't mean like no. But guys, that case of that boy, I forget his name, but the one that sadly passed away from that Nigerian Darwin, from that school, I don't know if I should say the name here, in fact I'll say the name, Darwin College. That story, for some reason, it hit me on another level. And I feel like sometimes you have to be violent in life. As I want to say violent, you have to take action, because people like to violate, people like to take the piss, people like to, you know, push and push and push. And sometimes being nice does not always get you anywhere. Most times being nice doesn't get you many places. So I feel like sometimes you have to show people madness for madness. You have to really, if you don't understand, you don't understand. But there's so many situations where I feel like the only acceptable answer is craze. If you're Nigerian, you know what I mean. That's the only acceptable answer. Because some people, that's what they understand. Some people, that's the only thing that I can explain to you so many times where I've been nice, like, especially with like companies when they're like taking long to do something, whether it's refund or do something. But then when you apply pressure, that's when they know, oh crap, we actually have to fix this. So sometimes when something's within your right and the person is holding it in, violence, not caring much about, just not caring anymore about what people think. This is something that, especially with my content, like for YouTube or TikTok or wherever it might be, like sometimes before I post something, I might be like, oh, what if this person thinks like, oh, what is she doing now? Or what if my friends think this? But you know what? I've realized like that's not gonna get me anywhere. And the funny thing is, the things that I actually do go ahead to put out there are the things that do better, where I just don't care because it's completely authentic. And I feel like authenticity almost always comes from a place where you do something regardless of what others might say about it, because you're just being you. And I've realized that it's so important, like it's so important to do something that is within you and something you think is great, even if you think other people might not think it is. Put it out there anyways, you know. The importance of expression and emotions. I'm a bit like, I don't know how to explain. I used to have this, let me not lie, I still have this toxic like thinking that showing too much expression in front of people, I feel like it makes me feel weak. And this is something I'm trying to break through. So I don't really like crying in front of my friends, or, you know, having like a breakdown in front of people. Usually when I'm talking about something, it's something that I've already gone through, so now I can come and talk about it because I've gone through it. But I've realized like it doesn't do me much favors always holding things in. Don't get me wrong, like I still will probably forever hold a lot of things in. When I say hold things in, I don't mean like not talk about things that bother me, but then there are certain things I feel like it's only God I want to talk to about it, because he's the only one that can really help me with it. But there are certain things that I've realized when I speak to other people, it feels lighter on me. So I've realized that expressing emotions, it's wrong to think that it's a sign of weakness, because it's not. And but having said that, I still feel like you should be very selective with the people you express your emotions to, because some people could one day use that weakness against you, or that weakness of yours against you. But I think that's when discernment comes to play. I don't know if you guys get what I mean, but this is something that I've learned. Pressure. There's so much pressure in this day and age. There's pressure from real life, there's pressure from social media, there's pressure from family, there's pressure from within. But I think the strongest of them all is pressure from within. And I'm trying to work on it, and just like I put so much pressure on myself sometimes, and I'm just like it's not gonna, I don't know how to explain, guys, but I don't know how to explain what I'm saying, but basically I've learned that there's a lot of pressure around, especially for young people, and a lot of it does come from within, and it's something that I'm working on. This is the second to the last lesson I've learned, and I think this is the biggest one. This year especially, I've always known that everything happens for a reason, but this year especially, I've learned that everything happens for a reason, but that doesn't mean that you're always going to understand the reason why something happened. And there's some situations in life that I think, like, why did this have to happen? Like, why did I have to go through that? Or why did I have to experience this? Or why could this person do this? And blah, blah, blah. And people, what I don't like in this is that a lot of time people are like, everything happens for a reason, guys, and this is the reason why this happened. There are some things in my life that I can't explain why it happened, and I probably will never be able to, and that's okay. Like, I think there's some kind of comfort in realizing that just because nothing is a coincidence, it doesn't mean that you're always going to be able to interpret why it happened. Sometimes life is just unfair, and that's it, full stop. Like, it doesn't mean that because, you know, that bad thing happened, this good thing has to happen. So I don't know how this sits with you, whoever's watching this, but I've realized that as much as I don't think anything is a coincidence, I've also realized that I might not always be able to explain why something happened, and that is fine, because it's too much brain power trying to pick my brain and ask myself or ask God, why did that happen? Last thing I've learned is that innovation is healthy. What I mean by this is, if something isn't working, you can try another way. The way I've done this, for example, with my channel is nowhere near where I want it to be in terms of even the kind of content I'm making, the engagement I'm getting. There's so many things that I want to do that I'm just not able to do as of yet, or I'm still working on, or it hasn't worked out for me. But then innovation is healthy. Like, I've also now become consistent, like on TikTok, and 1 month on TikTok, and my most successful video is like double my most successful video on the year I've spent on YouTube. And you never know what kind of opportunities can come from different places. So what I'd say is that even if you want to do something, let's say you want to be a model, if the method of posting on Instagram every single day hasn't been working and it's been like 2 years, you can start like sending photos out to like agencies. You can start like physically approaching. You can start another platform. So I think innovation is really important. You can have one goal, but you can do it in many ways. And I've realized the importance of, you know, wanting something and learning all the outlets I can use to achieve that. But yeah, guys, this is my lessons that I've learned in 2021. It's been a big year. This year for me, I don't know why, but every time, actually I know why, I just don't want to talk about why, but every time the year is ending, I always feel a kind of way. I feel a mixture of gratefulness to God for, like, obviously being alive, and I also feel a bit of sadness. And this is always like this whenever the year is ending. It's been like this for the past like 5 years, and it's just for like personal reasons. But I don't know, the end of the year is such a surreal moment. How would I rate my year? I don't know. I don't think I can rate my year. This year, good things have happened. Not so great things have happened. Bad things have happened, as always, you know? Like, it hasn't been anything spectacular. The only spectacular thing, you know, is that I'm alive, you know, I'm here. But I wish you guys all blessings in 2022. I hope all your dreams come true. I hope that thing you want to do, you do it. And I hope we see each other again, you know, in the new year. But yeah, guys, love you all. Thank you for watching this video. If you reached the end, I appreciate you. If you enjoyed it, please make sure you subscribe, like, and all of that stuff. Bye.